Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube review of Hawkeye. Not only another, but the finale. I am, of course, joined by our holiday compatriot, Santa Claus. Santa Claus, how are you doing?
Oh my goodness, my friends. I hope I'm on target today with this particular episode. We have a lot to talk about, and I do mean a lot to talk about. But it's very good to see the boss man and the burrito. We're all back together again. The three amigos. Merry Christmas, my friends.
And also joined by the uh, illustrious Gary. How are you doing down there, illustrious Gary?
I'm alright.
Good.
This might come. By the way, this review might come up as negative for me, just because I'm going to preparing this to No Way Home, and it's not going to
Why are
match
you
up. I'm
comparing
sorry.
it to No Way Home? It has nothing to do with one another.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
I'll explain in a bit. It's fine.
okay, you explain in a bit. Okay, so we have the season finale. We have the return of Kingpin. We have Yelena Belova catching up with Clint Barton. We have Kate Bishop finding out that her mom is actually the bad guy. We have the revelation that the swordsman is actually a joke. And yeah, bye everybody. See you later. Bye. Ta ta. Okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So I mean, going through this episode beat by beat. I don't know if we want to do that, but I suck at that. But um. So we start off by picking up right where we left off, where Clint Barton revealed that the Kingpin is the guy that Kate Bishop's mom was talking to, and so yeah, so I mean we've got that going on, and sorry, I'm trying to bring up my notes here really quick. My bad. Probably should have done this beforehand, huh? So what overall, what did you guys think of the episode? Go ahead and give me that while I bring my notes up.
Well,
Santa.
this was the most Disneyest episode I've seen in all of the episodes of Marvel on television so far, on Disney Plus. This was a very, very Disney episode. And I say that begrudgingly because I did like this episode, but the Disneyness of this episode also make me dislike this episode in certain places. And I want to get to that overall. I don't think every payoff was paid off. Like,
I think there were a lot of letdowns in this episode. We'll get into those later.
yeah, yeah. And just to cut to the chase, the watch, I thought, like, okay, great. It belongs to it belongs to Laura Button. But there was not much to that. Like, why did people want it in the first place? I was more wondering that. You know, Kingpin, oh, so good to see Vincent D'Onofrio. But this is not the Kingpin from Netflix. He was a million miles away from it. In fact, I want to start at the very beginning of this episode, if you don't mind me.
Nope.
Just
I have my notes up here, so that's where I was going to start at the beginning of the episode, where we have Kingpin meeting. It's kind of like overlapping with the end of last week's episode a little bit, where the
but before,
Kingpin is meeting with Kate Bishop's mom, and they're having this meeting, and basically Kate Bishop's mom is saying, "Look, I've been very loyal. I've gotten you tons of money, but I want out." And Kingpin, of course, takes rejection very poorly. So all of a sudden now we have this conundrum where the Kingpin is now he doesn't like rejection very well. So
no,
um
no, this is sorry, boss man. I know I want you to have a word on this too, but when I was watching Netflix, if somebody told Kingpin that I'm going to blackmail you if you don't let me leave, that person wouldn't leave the fucking room. They'll be dead, there and then. You know, they wouldn't have a chance to negotiate any further. Kingpin would kill them. He has a bloodlust. Also, that office he has. What a fucking joke is that office? You see him in penthouse suites in Netflix. Here, he's in some back garage bullshit. What the fuck is that all about?
I,
So the
no
portrayal
idea.
of Kingpin in this episode, even though it was really good to see him, it was really poorly. It's a bit like when WWE gets hold of a wrestler or a company from
Yes,
another company.
You stole my fucking point. I was gonna say that. Like,
Really?
why are they Vince McMahoning this
Yeah,
Netflix
yeah.
character?
Yeah, like it's like when they got ECW or they get Diamond Dallas Page or whatever. Yeah, they just ruin the character on their platform. Because honestly, the good thing about Vincent D'Onofrio, the good thing about Charlie Cox, is that what they did on Netflix, and now Disney have got hold of these two gems, absolute gems. And after seeing what how Vincent D'Onofrio been portrayed on Disney as a fucking clownish villain, in my part, and somebody who's not remotely as menacing as he was on Netflix. I'm very concerned of the future of Kingpin, even if there is a fucking future.
Zam, it's.
But yeah,
I was gonna say, Zanta, it's very sad that we're starting to think a lot alike because that's exactly what I was going to say at the end when
you
we
know
get to the
why? You
ending.
know why? Because you're my friend. All
All
right,
right, so
okay,
Boss Man,
Gary.
what do you think of this opening scene with Kate Bishop and Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin?
Well, I agree with what you said. Like, this is a guy who is always like in the background. If you ever meet somebody, it's somebody that like he wants to meet and stuff like that. And you're both making a lot of great points, which is that if it wasn't for if she said no to him after he literally said to her, nobody's think about what you're doing. As soon as she got to sleep, he's like, he would have given a look at you, and she would have got like a silent shot as you just would have.
Yeah,
And that's all you heard. Sorry, that was really named my mic, but you would have heard a dead body just go down, and it's just like it's like. I mean, and the thing is, we're going to go into. I mean, are we going to go by scene by scene, or are we going to go by because this is one thing that annoyed me. Is like Kingpin rarely deals with things in real life unless he absolutely has to. I mean, like the thing is that the reason he dealt with Daredevil was that Daredevil came looking for him. He didn't go looking for Daredevil, it's because like he was behind the thing and Daredevil managed to get him on stuff. Whereas he was like, oh, in the streets, he's not come out of jail that long ago. Why would he put himself in danger of going back there? So this is one thing that annoyed the piss out of me.
My only thought on the whole process is that this is a different Kingpin played by the same actor in a different universe. Like, I don't know if they're trying to make the Netflix stuff MCU canon or not, or if this is just like Vincent D'Onofrio's, like it's the same person playing a different version of Kingpin, which, as I said, I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say it. It was a fucking atrocity. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily need the bloodlust that Zam's talking about, but like, you're right, Gary. Like, for once, we agree on something. Like, I mean, he's down in the streets. He gets caught in a back alley. Like, what who is this guy? Who is this Kingpin? Like, I didn't get it.
It just felt a bit contrived to get us into the Echo series. That because I reckon this is what I reckon is going to happen. And again, like if this happened, to quote our favorite Christmas themed friend here, I bet both my bullocks that when she goes to shoot him, he either knocks it out of her hand or disarms her and then runs away, and then that's the thing for the Echo series. That's the reason we don't see it.
Yeah,
and by the way, if they do that, that's going to be such a flaming nerfing of the Echo character just before she even gets to the series. That she's that incompetent that she has a gun literally to the guy's head and he unarmed disarms her. Awesome stuff.
No, I agree. It's definitely no that whole scene at the end, and since we're jumping around, I mean, I'll just say about it. That like the season finale was okay for me. I was not feeling the Kingpin, but I was feeling Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, Yelena Belova. I was feeling a lot of that. So I'm like, okay. But that scene right there, I'm like, if they just freaking killed Kingpin, like Zam said, they Vince McMahoned him. Like they brought him from Netflix over to the MCU, and they just nerfed him. Like they just nerfed him, right? Like they were using Kingpin to put over Echo. Like I don't, or Kate Bishop. I mean, it depends on where you're looking at it.
Both of them.
I don't know. I really have an issue with that. And as I said, it didn't ruin the series for me, but it definitely knocked the episode down a couple notches for me. Sam, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Like like the fight he has with Kate Bishop. I mean, I just want to just focus on Kingpin for now as we're sticking with him. But the fight he has with Kate Bishop, like, what the fuck, man? Like, you want to you want to kill her mom, but you're Kingpin. The fucking daughter is right there. You can kill the daughter right in front of the mother. That's the sort of thing Kingpin would do.
I
You
agree.
know,
He would. That's what I thought. He would be like he would basically like threaten to kill Kate Bishop unless her mom
he's
went back to
ignoring,
work
like,
for
yeah,
her.
like this girl is fucking with him, and he's totally ignoring it. Like, yeah, like a fly. Like, I don't want to deal with you. I want to kill your mother. And I'm thinking to
He's like,
myself,
mind your own
and
business. It's
I
like,
was I was desperate to see that double fist punch he does, which is quite synonymous with him by Vincent D'Onofrio since the Netflix. He always does that. I wanted to see him that doing. I wanted him to beat Kate to a fucking pulp, and then somehow Kate outsmarts him with a trick arrow or something like that, like the way she did in their fight. But their fight was very Disney. It was very Disney. I mean, she should have
It,
been battered to fuck. One punch would have broken her ribs. You know?
yeah, because the thing is that like this is a guy who a seasoned superhero like Daredevil has trouble beating up on his own. Like like when he beats him up, he has to use a lot of like hit and fade tactics because if he stands in front of this guy, he's going to get his head nipped in. Literally, Kate Bishop, this flaming slender, half baked hero. I mean, because she's not really developed. I use the word half baked, not as a character, but as she's not fully developed into a hero yet. So it was basically, I was going to take as a good one ball. And again, I think you guys are right. It should have been like, maybe like he's beating the crap out of her, and like he goes in for the kill, and like he makes one mistake, and like and she like pins his hands to the wall, and he's trying to get out and stuff like that. That could be cool.
I would have started this episode similar to how this episode started with Eleanor Bishop basically blackmailing or willing to blackmail the Kingpin by saying, I want out of the business, and if you don't let me out, I will send all these pictures to the press or the police or something. Then I want Kingpin to grab her by the head and to start crushing, and then we have a save. Kate or Hawkeye comes in. I mean, Hawkeye never even faced fucking Kingpin in this episode, for fuck's sake. They didn't even encounter each other once. But regardless of that, I needed that save. I wanted to see that moment where he was going to crush Eleanor's skull for blackmailing her, and then Kate comes in with a save, like a distraction to stop him from doing that. Something, like remind us why this guy is so devastating. And
or
we never got that.
Yelena could have intervened because technically Yelena was hired by her mom.
Yes, exactly. Too. That would have
So
even
I don't think
that
she
would have
was
made
hired by the Kingpin,
yeah,
so she could intervene to save her interest.
Right, but
yeah, exactly.
yeah, but as I said, when he showed up at the end, I was like, why? And again, that was generally my general for that. I was like, why is he here? I mean, why does he need to be here? Like literally, this is the guy who tries to keep himself as far away from the actual things that could implicate him as possible. That's why it took him making one small mistake in the Daredevil series for them to implicate him in the crime. I mean, because it took them literally, I think it was like 4 or 5 episodes once they learned about him to try and figure out one little thing he did that they could get him on.
Spooter, I hope to God you're talking about this episode you're watching right now, not the episode of Hawkeye, because we've got some issues with it. If you've been tuning in for the back.
We're going through the negatives so there are positives with this episode, Sporter. But for a start, the negative without a doubt is Kingpin. One of the big, because you don't build up to this character and make him such a letdown,
But do you guys agree with me that he shouldn't have been in that fight? He should have had some other people doing it for him. He should have delegated.
No, I think the execution should have been different. Make a plausible make him show him that he's devastating. Beat the fuck out of everybody, bludgeon them almost to death, and find a way out, a plausible, satisfying way out. He is the bad guy. He shouldn't necessarily win, and make it acceptable to our fan. But it's Disney now, And that's the problem. Being Disney, like getting someone battered to death by fucking Kingpin might not happen. you know,
Well,
you know,
until they finally cross that line where they actually put rated R, stuff in, like rated R stuff in these things, which it does not surprise me that they did this with the Kingpin on this show. Now, if they did a Daredevil show on Disney Plus and they nerfed it, I'd be even more mad.
well, this is the guy in season 1 of Daredevil who got a man, beat the shit out of him, and then smashed his head with the car door till he decapitated him. You know, are we ever gonna get anything close to that
Oh hell
in
no, we're
this?
not. No.
And then and so how does this make you feel for fuck Daredevil? How does it make you feel for Blade, considering what Wesley Snipes offered us back in the 90s? How the hell are we gonna get anything close to that with Mashallah Ali in today's Blade? It's gonna be a fucking joke, And this is the negative of Disney, because even though they do good stuff, when it comes to being a bit more adult orientated, they don't go there. They just don't go there. You know?
And also another negative one for me personally was the fight scenes. The thing is that like because like when there are the multi-person scenes and stuff like that, as I said, like that was what I was comparing to No Way Home. No Way Home, because again, No Way Home managed to get multiple person fight scenes, but make them feel all made to feel special. There wasn't one that was sort of sidelined. Whereas like I felt like not only the Kingpin one, but like the one between Kate Bishop and everybody else just felt a little bit thingy, because the real one what we actually wanted to see was the one between Yelena. I think I wasn't, because it was the way that they shot it. They seem to focus on that a lot. I mean, and I'd rather focus on Kate, especially if they're going to elevate her into being the next Hawkeye. Because to be honest, I'm invested in the Kate character now. I wanted to see more badass. Now I understand they had to do, resolve that particular storyline, but it just feels a little bit. They tied it up with a little bit too neat of a bow, if they might say. It's like we had to spend too much time, resolving her issues with Clint, and her maybe like he just the way that he could prove that he did. That she did sacrifice herself, maybe he has like a thing she gave him or something like that. That could have been interesting. And then we get more time with Kate.
Bossman, some people were calling that whistle Clint did the Martha moment from Batman versus Superman. Like it was really convenient in a way, because but nevertheless, she was the wild card, Yelena, in all of this,
Well,
But
I felt like Yelena should have been more of the focus, and my AKA Echo, just I felt like she was kind of a waste in this. Like maybe in the first couple episodes she wasn't, but like the last 2 episodes she was a waste. Like I mean, she had a fight with her cousin. Is that what he is? Is Z
also
or whatever his name is?
like friend and lover, or possible lover.
Yeah,
Like they
I
grew
don't
up
know.
together. They were childhood friends. They grew up together. He was actually the guy, Kazi. He was the
Kazi,
guy.
yeah.
He was the guy who she fought with when in martial arts school as a kid.
Yeah, I felt like she was pretty much a waste in these last 2 episodes. I mean, uh, I really felt like they should have transitioned her out in episode 4. Yes, yes, block. Hawkeye's wife is technically Mockingbird. Oh, spoilers! That's. I mean, do you want to move on to the watch now?
That blew his mind. That blew your fucking mind.
Yeah, that blew
Man,
your
we had
mind. Okay,
idea that
well,
she was a fucking spy when she started speaking German a few
we've been
episodes
saying that
ago.
for like weeks. We've been saying that she probably met him through Shield. I mean, and some people were saying that she was Mockingbird, but so a lot of people are saying that the fact that what's her name again?
Laura Barton.
Laura Barton. That Laura Barton is like Mockingbird 1.0, and then the one from Agents of Shield is 2.0. Like she took over, like she took the moniker of Mockingbird from her, and passed the torch or whatever. First off, why was the watch why was the watch important besides that it just had her age like her shield badge number on it? Like
Yeah,
why? And
yeah, that never got answered.
I know
You
it's
never
like
knew.
it's not like it has like any kind of information on it as far as we know. It was just a thing to get Hawkeye invested in the beginning.
Okay, I mean, so it was a MacGuffin and not a really good MacGuffin. Now the thing is, last week I said that it could be like a encryptor and stuff like that, and all of these things were like interesting ideas. You know, maybe it had like your secret information on it and stuff like that. But no, they decided just to go with, oh, it's just his wife's watch
Yeah,
from when she was a member of Shield. It's just like that's really disappointing. Like, you know, if it was like his wife's watch and maybe like it had all the information she accumulated while she's an agent of Shield, like maybe it had like, you know, information about like other agents of Shield, like where it like you know deep agents, that could be cool.
I think
Because
I think it has the secret Maria Hill Nick Fury sex tape on it. Is what I think it has. Can't let that get out.
Oh God. I mean, the thing is that I don't want to hate this because again, the thing is that like you know there are good parts to this, but the bad parts kind of bring this down for me.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
definitely agree because I mean that was a bit of a letdown. For me Maya was a bit of a letdown. The work between Kate Bishop and Clint Barton I would say is probably my favorite parts of this, and them like developing the trick arrows and stuff like that in the workshop. You know, and building all those. I mean, they did a really good job at kind of pairing them up and getting them to work together. And finally, when Hawkeye embraced the fact that Kate Bishop was his partner, then you know, I think things really went really well. And you know, I don't know. I really had some issues with a lot of the other stuff, but I mean, I did have some positives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, let's go. Let's go through the positives.
It was good. Well, the first positive for me, it was great to see Jack with his sword, you know, literally slicing the shit out of people. It was great. But it was literally like doing all the fancy sword moves and stuff like that. He literally like you know slicing himself with 6 people. I mean, like, and also I love the fact that the LARPers came in here and actually kicked some ass. You know, like you know.
Well, how the hell did they infiltrate that party as fucking waiters? You know, like things like that bother me. You know, like, like, how's that possible? I just, you know, I don't understand. But nevertheless, they did it, and
I can do this all day.
That
but
was great. That was great at the end of the episode, by the way.
It was terrible. I mean, I thought it was a gag, and then I realized when that started going that there was an actual like musical number that they recorded for that whole thing, and I mean, I was very sad when that happened. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're I wanted to like
okay,
them so much.
the trick arrows was nice. It's like, you know, we love Hawkeye and his funky arrows that can do more than just, you know, stab somebody, you know, and we saw them a whole variety of different flavors of arrow, airbags, magnets, fire bombs, you know,
We saw the Pym
electricity.
arrow return.
Oh yes, and you know what? I am so happy that they let those guys get taken away by the owl, and the owl is going to probably eat them, and that makes me very happy because hopefully they'll never get big again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like owls, so I was very happy to see the owl when he was up in the tree. I'm like, oh, it's an
We
owl. I
saw
love owls.
we saw acid arrow and
But
stuff like that. Mhm.
did you notice that the Pym arrow was a different color? Because the blue is what makes them like bigger, and the red is what makes them smaller. So the Pym arrow that he used in this episode was red, but the one in the third episode was blue.
That's a good catch. You know, I never noticed that. Anyway, they could have done anything else for that credit scene, and I would have been happy. That fucking song is gonna be stuck in my head now. Ha ha ha. But I'll tell you
Well,
what, I think there's gonna be a musical, and that's gonna be that. I really do think that's gonna happen. I can't see it not happening.
well, I feel that I don't know. So going with the credit scene thing though, I I mean, I really feel like that there should have been an actual credit scene where it's like Kingpin
Kingpin
waking up in the hospital, or
blinded.
Yelena going back to Val, or or John Walker showing up and talking to Yelena, basically saying, "Hey, hey, I almost stepped in there for a minute. I thought you were going to lose it." Or something. Like anything to tie anything together. And no, we get the stupid fucking musical. Like,
Look,
oh god.
theoretically, we should have seen Spider-Man because this is after No Way Home, I believe. This is round about Christmas time, which is when No Way Home ends. We see him at the. Sorry for Spider-Man No Way Home spoilers. I'm going to get them now, so be prepared.
So if you
Okay.
haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, plug your ears.
Okay, so at the end of the credits, we see him. It's snowing and stuff. It's Christmas time. He's sliding around. He fucking swings over the Rockefeller Center, which is where the finale was held of this movie, of this episode. I wanted to see fucking Spider-Man. Don't get
You
me
just
wrong, you
want
can't have
to Spider-Man swinging around the tree. Well, keep in mind that the tree was still up, and in this finale, the tree was down. So had to have taken place before Spider-Man No Way Home had to take place before the
I know,
Hawkeye
but
season
he's still a
finale.
New York friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He knows, even though Clint Barton doesn't know who he is, he knows who Clint Barton is. So, I just that would
I
have
mean,
been
I think it would have been a nice nod.
yeah.
I mean, it could be like in the start of Echo series, like which is about shooting. It'd be cool if like Spider-Man jumps in, knocks a gun out of a hand. That could be cool because then that's a favorable neighborhood Spider-Man, and then that could be cool because then she learns to be a different sort of hero.
I want the Echo series to start, Bossman, with Kingpin stopping and the gunshot goes off, but it doesn't shoot him, and that's how the Echo series starts. And she has a letter touched with him, and she gets away, and then she has to regroup, and Kingpin, obviously has to regroup, and then it's all about a cat and mouse who gets to who first, a bit daredevilish in a way.
Well, and that's kind of what I was afraid of when they announced Echo. I was kind of afraid that they're like, oh God, are they using this person? Are they going to use Echo as like the new, like try to make it the new Daredevil? Like not actual Daredevil, but like, that superhero with a handicap that's fighting the Kingpin. Like, I mean, it's all along the same lines. Like,
instead of blind, she's deaf. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could see Disney because that's my big fear now is that they've nerfed Kingpin. I mean, like, okay, but Zam's kind of right. I mean, look at No Way Home. Spoilers again for No Way Home, but Charlie Cox was in that for all of 5 minutes, and basically, yeah, was it a
If
good
that
cameo?
5 seconds.
It was there, but like he was just there, and he just basically brushed away all the accusations against Spider-Man and had a little bit of a verbal conversation with them, but that was it. Like nothing. So I mean, are they nerfing? Like, are they nerfing the Netflix characters now that they're bringing them in? Are they basically, like you said, they're Vince McMahoning them? If Daredevil comes in, is he going to get nerfed? If Luke Cage comes in, is he going to get nerfed? Like
I can't wait for Daredevil to be Kingpin's ass. Well, the thing is that it's not going to be the same Kingpin, it's not going to be the same Daredevil because all the grit and the hard edges of that show that made it good look like they've been sanding off it. It's a bit like it's like what you guys have said. It's like when a wrestler goes to WWE and the reason they get over is because they're a little bit
Goldberg,
a little bit, edgy as a character. And what WWE find them and rip all those edges off, making them nothing. They did it to Taz, they did it to Mike Awesome, they did it to all these guys that they took all the edges off and just exactly. All they'll do, they'll make them clowns, or they'll make them into nothing. And the thing is that Vincent D'Onofrio he's great as a Kingpin. Why take away these edges? I mean, I understand it's an SG rated show. That's one reason that you don't have fucking Kingpin in it. Or at least have him in physically. Just have him in there as a presence. Talk about him. Say that, have that scene in the thingy, but then you cut to him telling, like, a lot of his thugs, and maybe, like, a thug that we've seen, hey, take care of her. Boom. And then he doesn't have to come in. There you go.
Well, we saw his durability. Like, I did appreciate that. Like, the guy can get shot by an arrow, no problem. Which is why I'm also thinking that when the gun went off, it doesn't necessarily kill him. If an arrow can't kill him, why would a bullet? On top of that, he got hit by a car and he survived pretty well. He got blown up by fucking trick arrows. He survived, and I love the durability they did pull off on him. But he just became a bit too much of a clown. I mean, I know that shirt he's worn in the comics, but honestly, my Kingpin, the idea of my Kingpin, is a sharp-suited man. You know what I mean? And he doesn't look like he's about to go on a beach holiday. You know, this Kingpin with a fucking bowler hat and shit. What the hell, man? I'm cool with the cane. I like the cane. I'm all right with that. But that shirt was a fucking joke. His office was a fucking joke. His focus was a joke as well. Like, you don't ignore people trying to kill you. You just grab Kate by the neck and that's it. Kill her. That's what he would do. Oh God, it's just. I'm very, very concerned with the future of this character. I know he would come back. You don't bring him back. He's like one of the biggest, most notorious supervillains in Marvel history. You don't bring him back for a one and done. So
unless they're nerfing him, as I said, I mean, I would certainly hope they wouldn't do that. And I also would probably, I would agree with you that they probably didn't bring him back for a one and done. But just the fact that there's that possibility infuriates me.
Well, I think they're talking now. Like Echo, if they're going to do an Echo series, then what they're going to focus on? It's got to be Kingpin,
Honestly, I don't even know why we're getting an Echo series. I just don't do Echo, do Daredevil. I mean, put Echo in Daredevil. I don't care.
Daredevil's going to be an Echo. It's going to be different in that sense, and Daredevil is going to be, a bit like Hawkeye and Black Widow was. He's going to be in other people's shows before he gets his own. And I mean, I want to see Daredevil in Spider-Man, personally. I mean, and I'm not talking about the cameo. I want to see more than that. And also, I want them to create a Daredevil suit that complements Charlie Cox, because honestly, I don't think, in my opinion, this is personal, but the suits he's worn look really. If anything, he looked better in the black get-up he wore in season 3 in the beginning of season 1. That looked much better on him than the actual Daredevil suit.
I like the Daredevil suit on him. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I
The
just
black
don't think
suit,
it
I mean, the black
complimented
suit
him.
is just synonymous because it was just so different, and it was from the comic books, actually. Like, that was straight out of the comic books.
Yeah, fair enough. But that's just my opinion. But what I also didn't like about this, even though like, I did like some of the things I did get. We got the happy ending. I like Jack, by the way. He grew on me. He really did. And I hope if they do a season 2, that in a way he becomes like a parental figure to Kate. In a way, which would be nice, in my opinion. Because they've both been done by Kate's mom in different ways, but they've been betrayed by her. And it would be nice that they get along and make up for that. And maybe he teaches her how to be better with the sword and all of that. So I can see that in the future. I liked him. I liked the ending with the family. I thought that was really nice. Hawkeye got back. I would like the second season to be way more focused on Kate. I think it needs to go that direction. Let's focus on Clint. I think we've had enough of him. It's just nice for him to stay at home. But if they do focus on Clint, then we need to see Linda Cardellini do the old Mockingbird. Come out of retirement one more time, baby. And get that Mockingbird going. Yeah.
Tony Dalton is a fantastic actor. He is great in Better Call Saul.
No, I never saw that. I saw Breaking Bad. I never saw Better Call Saul, but yeah, he was very good. Um, in this, I just enjoyed. I told you he was a bit of a doofus, and he was a doofus. He's a rich doofus, a talented doofus with a sword, but a doofus nevertheless. He wasn't playing an act. He was really that idiotic.
Can we just acknowledge the fact that Kate Bishop probably should have died twice in this episode, because the Kingpin should have killed her, and Yelena Belova should have. Because for how many
No,
for how
Yelena, no, not Yelena, because Yelena was hired by her mother, and she's not going to kill the fucking daughter of the person who hired her. And she
I
knows
know, but
that's
I felt like Kate Bishop was just getting in her way so much, and it almost felt like it would have been easier for her to kill her than it would be for her to actually try to fight her off and deal with her in the way and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
I'm very
believe.
surprised that, especially being the Black Widow, where she didn't just go and just shoot
Yeah,
her with
but
the flaming.
yeah, but she's Black Widow. She's not the Black Widow, of what's his name? Oh my God,
Ray
what's the
Winston.
name of the Ray Winston's Black Widow who was brainwashed? She's her own person now. She's still got the skill set, but she's just not going to go around killing people for the sake of it.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, the way she was annoying. I was waiting for the moment where she just hauled off and just kicked her ass instead of just trying to just kind of getting her out of the way.
Well, rumors are that we pretty much got everybody set now. We have a young Captain America in what's his
Falcon.
name?
Falcon.
Sorry,
Falcon.
say that again.
Falcon.
Are you
Yeah,
talking
what
about
was his name?
Patriot?
Well, yeah, America. Yeah, we have that. We have a young Loki, from the Loki series. I know there's some people. Oh, we have a young Iron Boy. You know, the kid from
No, it'll be they're gonna set up Ironheart.
Ironheart. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We possibly have what's her face? The Black Panther sister. Her name escapes me now.
Yeah, if she's even still in the MCU, she's rumored to have been fired because she won't get the
Really?
vaccination.
Holy shit!
Yeah, they're in the
Uh,
middle. She got hurt on set too, in Black Panther 2. Like, she
Jesus
got
Christ!
hurt. I don't want to say it was bad, but she was, from what I read, she had a pretty significant accident on the set of Black Panther 2. So she might be done at least after this movie. I don't
We have
know.
we have Scott Lang's daughter.
Yep,
Yeah,
Stature.
yeah. So
We also have
so
a possibility of the the Maximoff twins,
yes, yes, yes,
Wiccan and Speed.
yes. And they're grown up now. We might see them in Multiverse of Madness. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things coming together now. And the thing
Also,
is,
Ms. Marvel's coming up.
of course, yes. So there's a
So
whole
yeah,
bunch
we've got a Young Avengers lineup coming up here. So I wouldn't be
exactly more
surprised
than
if the
six.
next Avengers movie was a Young Avengers movie.
And if you maybe throw Spider-Man in the mix as well,
Oh God, no! Please don't.
well, you need leaders, and Spider-Man, I said, Tom Holland is definitely would be the experienced young leader of that team. Somebody who's been with the Avengers before, because all of those guys are not Avengers, but Tom Holland, Spider-Man is, an experienced Avenger. So
Well,
it'd be
I
nice.
feel like if they did go that route, it would be
I'll
like
throw
Kate.
Yelena in there as well, by the way.
No, Yelena's going to be a part of the Dark Avengers, like with U.S. Agent.
I think she can go
Thunderbolt.
either way. I think she can go either way, because it'll be their Black Widow, but okay, well, however it goes, that's I feel is, but they have to do this quick because these kids they grow up, before you know it, Tom Holland's fucking 30, you know, so like these guys can't play children forever, so like Tom Holland's still playing a 17-year-old at 25 for fuck's sake, and these things, they take they don't make them every day, they make them every year.
He still looks young. He still looks young though.
Yeah, I know, but he won't look young forever, So they got to, you can't have a guy
Well,
in his 30s playing a teenager,
well,
Yeah.
as I said, The rumors I've heard is that Tom Holland says he wants to take a bit of a break because he's getting a bit burnt out with it, and Andrew Garfield said that he wants to do it again. So I think that's what's going to happen. Is that Tom Holland's going to go and do something different for a little bit, and then Andrew Garfield's going to come back and do Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I hope not. Good God, that would no. I
And
don't
Tom
want
Holland-
them to, it's been too long, and I mean, I don't mind Andrew Garfield being in like the multiverse movies and stuff, like crossing over, but like no, him coming back and doing Amazing Spider-Man 3 is just like no, let's not. If we wanted an Amazing Spider-Man 3, everyone should have shown up for Amazing Spider-Man 2.
No, the problem is Amazing Spider-Man 2 did well at the box office, just not good, and honestly did really well at the box office, but still not good enough for Sony, far as they're concerned, which is absolutely crazy. Like it made like 500-600 million at the fucking box office. Lot of films would love to make that sort of money. It killed it. Like maybe it made 3 times its money, but nevertheless not good enough for Sony. It's crazy. They want to get to that $1 billion mark every bloody time. You know.
Well,
So
they did. They have so far. Well, with Far From Home and No Way Home, they did. They hit that $1 billion mark. I'm trying to remember
because
what
they jumped.
Homecoming made. I don't think it made $1 billion, but I think it was close.
Oh yeah. But then again, once again, they jumped on the MCU bandwagon. But we've already spoken about that in previous videos. But yeah, overall with Hawkeye, it's a nice show to end the year with. Very Christmassy. I really much appreciate that. Very festive. It feel good, but very Disney. Very Disney. Like I give credit to the other shows. They weren't as Disney as this show. Like for fuck's sake, Falcon and the Winter Soldier had John Walker, killing a man with the bloody shield. Like that was crazy. And then you had the scene where they break his arm and shit like that, and there were some horrific scenes. We saw even the Winter Soldier himself prior to the series. We saw in Civil War how he killed Tony Stark's parents. It was brutal.
Well, that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, I feel like this is. I don't feel like this is Disney-fying the Kingpin. I feel like that maybe that the Kingpin was just handed to the wrong person, like either to the wrong writer or the wrong director. And I feel like he was just mishandled in this. Now if this happens again and he's in something else and then he's still the same way, then okay, you're right. They're Disney-fying him. But I don't feel like this one episode. I just feel like he was mishandled in this episode. So I don't necessarily think that it's just them Disney-fying him, like permanently. But I agree with you. He was definitely mishandled in this episode. And there's just so much more they could have done with him. And you're right. He lost that edge in this episode. And I mean, maybe it's the fact that they're trying to make this more of a family Christmas event. But you don't bring Kingpin in for a family Christmas event then. You bring somebody else in. Kingpin is not the right character if you're looking for family-friendly Christmas fun.
I'm gonna be asking, what's next on the shopping list?
Marvel-wise?
Boba Fest.
No, Marvel-wise.
Marvel-wise,
not for us.
I think is Miss Marvel, or it might be She-Hulk, but I'm guessing it's Miss Marvel.
Is not she. I think it's She-Hulk. I think it's She-Hulk before Miss Marvel. I'm not really sure.
Or Moon Knight. Moon Knight's not next.
I know for definite, but
I think it goes Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion. I think that's the order, but I might be. They don't have release dates, so we don't know yet.
The problem is as well. Like, so not the problem, but they've laid all their big hitters first. Like they gave us people we're very familiar with Wanda, with Falcon, with the Soldier, with Loki. Even What If had a whole bunch of familiar characters, and finally with Hawkeye, these are all recognizable characters. Now we're going into unknown territory with Ms. Marvel, with She-Hulk, with Moon Knight.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that the Hulk, Bruce Banner, Eric.
I agree, but still, I do expect maybe the odd, maybe we might see Carol Danvers in Ms. Marvel. There's a possibility, yeah. But nevertheless, these are still focusing on people we're not familiar with. They are the main focus is always these big stars who have been part of the MCU for 5 to 10 years, Now we're focusing on people we don't know, and so it's going to be really interesting to see where we go from here.
This is
But
true.
next week, it's your favorite cousin Cheeto, Boba Fett. Boba
Oh
Fett.
yeah, bringing me what I wanted for Christmas. Book of Boba Fett.
I'll
Look,
tell you what, that Ming Na Wen, she's 57. I mean, she looks younger than me. Like I
oh
can't
yeah.
believe this. She looks
Here's
fantastic.
here's my thing about Boba Fett, and I know I've probably explained this before, but you know, I never got the hype that everybody had with Boba Fett from the original trilogy. Now, I think the Mandalorian went really far to make Boba Fett like a little bit more viable as like a cool character, but I never got that original hype in the original trilogy. Where like Boba Fett's the best, and then like he gets eaten by the Sarlacc after 5 minutes. Like it just made no sense to me. So I'm
No,
hoping that
I
this series will
understand.
redeem the Boba Fett character because I do like the actor who plays him.
Tamara Morrison.
Yeah, Tamara Morrison. I do like him, but it's just like I never got the hype behind Boba Fett.
Look,
So hopefully
I,
all of
I,
this redeems him.
I'm not a fucking Boba Fett fanboy. I just like Star Wars. Yeah,
Well, and
and
you know me, I like Star Wars stuff that's not Jedi related. So that's why I'm kind of like make this character cool. Please do
well, the
something to make him
Mandalorian was
cool.
like that. Mandalorian, well, most of it was like that.
He's
Even
just
though
not worried about the fact that there was Jedi stuff in it.
Yeah, but then they went back to the same old Jedi tropes.
No, but the thing is
well,
that
the child
well,
was fucking force sensitive. Just for those.
yeah,
Anyway,
but I to disagree with Cheeto, I think that again, like you can have Jedi stuff as long as it's done well, and they don't overplay it. Because the thing is that they do it because they think, oh, people like flaming laser self battles. Yeah, we do when it's done well. It's like anything. It's like gun battles. You know, we like them done if they're done well.
no, I agree. I agree. You know, and now apparently this show is going to be much more like the Mandalorian was like spaghetti western, but this is going to be apparently more like gangster, like Goodfellas and all of that.
Well,
I don't
good.
You
It
know.
know,
needs to. They need to do stuff like that and just keep the fucking Jedi out of it. For God's sake, I'm so sick of the Force.
well, look, this is just after Return of the Jedi, and apart from Luke and Ahsoka, there's not really any Jedi.
Oh, but
So
we've learned from the Mandalorian. They'll just find them wherever they may hide. A whole galaxy, and they just happen to run across Jedi.
yeah,
All
I
right.
know.
Anyway, so let's wrap this up. Guys, are we doing a season recap for Hawkeye or no?
If you want,
We can try to get
So
some other peeps on for a season recap.
we can do it over the weekend because I think this time next week is Book of
yeah,
Boba Fett in 7 days.
so if
Yeah.
you're going to give this episode a score out of 10, what would you give it?
Me, this episode I'd probably give a 5.
I'll give it a 6.
About a 5 as well.
I felt like they really did a disservice to the Kingpin. So, and I felt like that killed a lot of the episode.
Well,
yeah.
you know that we're right about this because you agree, Cheeto. I mean, we very rarely agree about anything, but the fact that we agree about this,
Yeah.
that, like, yeah.
No, I'm with you too, but I do feel like they wrapped it up very nicely. Lack of post credit scene was a bummer as well. I do have a lot of gripes on it, but I think I give it a 6 simply because of I have enjoyed this show, and I'm glad it's over
Well,
for what it's
let me put it
worth.
this way. I feel like this season finale was worse than WandaVision's, was worse than Falcon and Winter Soldiers, was way worse than Loki's, and worse than What If. I mean, like I feel like this is the worst finale out of all of the shows that we've seen.
No,
so
I don't
far.
think I don't think it's bad. The funny thing is, One Division had an action-packed season finale, but the show itself didn't need to be action-packed. A show like Hawkeye needs to be action-packed, and this episode was very action-packed from pretty much start to finish. And so I very much appreciated that. Um, so it was a lot of action in this episode, and you need that if you're doing a show by Hawkeye. So yeah,
Okay.
I liked it for that. But yeah. Eh, Whatever. Yeah, maybe I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
Good,
Yeah.
glad to see you coming around to our side. All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for watching. Santa Claus and Gary, thank you very much for joining me for this review. Next week, we will be doing the Book of Boba Fett. We will also have Zam back for the first time in several weeks. Zanta has to go back to his North stripper pole.
Oh yeah,
And
I am back to North Holt, and
yeah.
and I'll tell you this: I've been keeping Zam in my basement, and I'm feeding him oatmeal because that's all he deserves, the motherfucker.
So with all that being said, everybody, please give us a like, leave a comment on your favorite episode or your favorite moment of this episode, Hawkeye. This Hawkeye episode. I can't talk today. And if you haven't already, please give us a subscribe. We are NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you maybe kind of heard of. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Oh, and don't forget we have Star Trek Discovery tomorrow.
Oh yes.
We'll catch you later.